Welcome to this episode of Exercise Guide. Today, our focus is on the hips. We're doing three exercises primarily: hip abduction, hip flexion, and hip extension. Now, in terms of the hip abduction, what is critical for you to understand is that this exercise primarily will work the muscles to the outside of the hips itself. Hip flexion works the muscles to the front of the hip, extending down to the front of the thigh. And hip extension works the muscles to the back of the hip or your backside, extending down to the back of the thigh. Combined, all three of these exercises or movement patterns for the hip will strengthen your capacity in the areas of your walking, in the areas of running, in the areas of you standing, and basically doing all activities of daily living. It's critical for you to keep in mind that as we age, our hips, in terms of their strength, they can naturally decline. If our hips reduce in strength, then it means therefore that we are much more susceptible for slip and fall, as an example. Similarly, we will also be susceptible for lower back pain, and it's a case that we can also experience knee pain. And in so doing, in other words, it makes it hard for us to be able to do the things that we would love to do. So, in that regard, it is very critical that we focus on executing these three movement patterns towards keeping our hips strong and basically minimizing our risk of having any form of adverse outcomes. If it's a case that you're going to consider doing these exercises and you already have a low degree of balance, you should consider having some support be provided. As you can see in this video, a chair is being used to support the individual. So you stand beside the chair with your hand on the chair, core braced, and you execute the movement in a slow, controlled manner. What you can also consider to do is basically when you're exercising the movement, specifically with the leg going to the side or hip abduction, you basically can extend your arms just the same to the side as if you're flying like a bird. Now, if it's a case that your focus is on toning the hips, then the target rep range should be that of generally 15 to 20 reps. So each of these movement patterns, you should be targeting 15 to 20 reps, generally speaking. And the amount of sets you execute could basically be anywhere between 1 to 3 sets, depending on your overall fitness capacity, that is. Keep in mind that these exercises or these movement patterns are primarily anaerobic, and as such, by themselves, you will not be getting a good cardio benefit from them.